that song, and I don't know how long it's been since we sang this song. But can I just share tonight from my heart, and I'm just going to put this up. I'm going to share tonight from my heart for a little bit. It's kind of a weird service anyway, so I'm just going to weird it up more. I need your help. We've had 2 van windows busted out in the last month over here. And it's cost the church about $500. That was that close?
Yes, that's correct.
It's cost us about $500. So the deductible on our insurance is $1,000, so it doesn't touch it. And so that's one issue. That's one issue that we have. I'm just going to talk to you and let you know what's up. I've talked to 3 contractors about building us a building. And the dirt work and cement work and all the plumbing and what else? Kevin, what else is there? Dirt work, so the civil engineer to come out, the drainage plan, all that stuff. That's going to cost us a lot of money. That's just to do dirt work and cement. So I need you guys to understand. I'm going to talk to the leaders in just a little while here. I've got 4 of you here. But I need your help in not giving to a building, but giving to a vision. I'm not trying to build a building so we can put Jeff Nance Ministries on the side of it. We just have to have a place to do ministry out of. We just have to. We have some problems in this building that we are pretty good at hiding. But it's getting to the point we can't hide it anymore. And it's coming to a head where we're going to have to do something. And do something substantial. And so I want to share with you from my heart a little bit of what God has given me to do in the city, and I need your help. I believe that every one of you here tonight love the Lord with all your heart, or you wouldn't be here on Sunday night. I believe with all my heart that you really love God and you want what's best and for the city of Seminole, for your family, and listen, I get it. But I just want to share with my heart just a minute about kind of what God has laid on my heart to do. I love this place. Not this building only, but this city. And, man, there's so many issues in the city. There's the dynamics of the city are changing, if you haven't noticed. And what do you mean by the dynamics? It's becoming more poverty-stricken than it ever has in my life. If you just drive around and look, you can tell it's becoming more poverty-stricken than it ever has in my lifetime. I've been here for 48 years. And the dynamics are changing. The people are changing. There's a lot of folks right now that are having a lot of issues with drug abuse, alcohol abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. There's a lot of abuse of substances and people going on in our city. And God help me, but God has called me to help. God has called me to do those things. And to do those things, I have to get the vision inside of you. I don't want you to give because we're trying to build a building. I want you to give because you have a vision. You see what I see. You see where I see. We're going in the same place. I want you to be able to be flexible. And though it may be something, you may be passionate about teaching a class, but if you're more beneficial to the church to be doing something else, are you flexible to go and not stomp off and go do it, but go do it with gladness? I just use that as an example. I'm not taking anybody out of this class. Don't get all freaked out. Okay? I know my church, and I know that Andrew's taking another class. I'm not taking anybody out of the class. I'm just using that as an example. Are you flexible? Are you flexible to do the ministry of God? Are you flexible to be a minister of the gospel? Are you flexible to say, you know what, God, whatever it is that you need, that's what I'm going to be today. Do you need me to teach Sunday school class? I'm ready. Do you need me to put chairs out? I'm ready. Yesterday you guys ministered so much to so many people, you have no idea who you touched yesterday. Yesterday was good. To watch you guys work together and nobody got mad because they didn't get to cut their ham up. Amen? Come on now. Y'all laugh, but it's true. They get offended about, people get offended about stupid things. It's not stupid to them, but it's kind of silly. And nobody got offended because we had issues with the screen, and of course Kevin's going to pull his hair out, but it's still, and he's more worried about it than I am. I mean, I know he'll fix it. He'll get it lined out by Wednesday. It'll probably be working fine, and if it's not, by Sunday he'll have it fixed. And so I'm not worried about it. He is. And I appreciate his flexibility to be able to listen. He goes from lawnmower to ad crawler, man. I appreciate him because it's hot up there, and he mows the grass and he does a lot of things. And I'm not trying to embarrass Kevin, but I appreciate his flexibility to do what he needs to do. But are you married to what it is that you're doing right now, or can you be flexible to be moved? You know my biggest fear? Is to change things, because I grew up here and I've seen how most people react when you change them. And I don't want to fight with you because you're my family, and a lot of y'all are kin to me, and I don't want to fight with you because I would rather listen. This is from me speaking from my heart. I would rather you be my in-law and my family and love me at Christmas than be in my church and hate me. That's the God's honest truth. I would rather be able to look at you in the face at Thanksgiving and you don't be mad at me, and know, hey Jeff, and know that there's something behind there that has an issue, and I don't want to fight with you. There's just things that we need to do and play. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but there's some things that God's laid on my heart to do in the next year. I'm already looking at 2018 because we're almost done with 2017. And by the time November gets here, church shuts down. It basically shuts down because it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and we don't do anything for about 6 weeks. We do a lot of stuff, but we don't do any stuff. You know what I mean? We do Christmas sacks, we do dinners, we do backpacks or whatever we do. We do all kinds of stuff, but we don't do stuff. And so I want you to get this in your spirit. I want you to be flexible. It doesn't mean I think you're horrible if I ask you to do something else. It doesn't mean, well, I guess I wasn't doing a good job. You're doing a good job, so I'm moving you somewhere else. Or if you weren't, I would just ask you not to do it. But I just need you to be flexible. Some of you are still doing 3 and 4 jobs. You don't need to do 3 or 4 jobs. Because you're like me. When you do 3 or 4 jobs, everything gets put on the back burner. And so you have to do the best you can with what you got. And so if you will, turn with me to Philippians. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Philippians. I'll get there in a second. Philippians chapter 1. I'm going to read out of Ashley's NLT. I don't know who Ashley is, but it was in my office, and so now it's mine. That's the rule. If someone leaves stuff in my office, it becomes mine, right? So I got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in my office that I have no idea where it came from, but it's mine now. Okay, and so I keep it now. Okay, Philippians 1. I love that fan that's brought my stuff over. Philippians chapter 1, we're going to start with verse 7. Verse 12. And I want you to know, my dear brothers, I'm going to read down NLT and then I'll read the others. I want you to know, dear brothers and sisters, that everything that has happened to me here has helped spread the good news. For everyone here, including the whole palace guard, knows that I am in chains because of Christ. And because of my imprisonment, most of the believers have gained confidence and boldly speak God's message without fear. It's true that some are preaching out of jealousy and rivalry. But others preach about Christ with pure motives. They preach because they love me. For they know that I have been appointed to defend the good news. Those others do not have pure motives as they preach about Christ. They preach with selfish ambition, not sincerity, intending to make my chains more painful to me, but that doesn't matter. Whether their motives are false or genuine, the message about Christ is being preached. I just want to stop there for just a second. I want our motives to be pure. But I've been pastoring a long enough time to know that not everybody's motives are pure. I didn't say you didn't love God. I didn't say you weren't being sincere. You really feel like, what I'm saying is this, is that sometimes we get so aggressive toward we want things, positions, places that we fight and we battle one another instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to do this. Well, I'm going to do this. Great. Knock yourself out. Somebody help me. Go get some ice. Come on now. Let's go get some ice. If I'm in charge of ice, I need to go get ice. Well, who's in charge of the ice getting? Well, I don't want to get ice. It'll cost me $2 a bag. Well, send somebody maybe that's got $2 in it. I don't know. Send somebody to go get some ice. Go get the chairs. Go get the tables. Go get the things that God has called us to go get. Go get the harvest. And I need your help. And don't forget, I haven't forgotten about my van issue. So, wait a minute. So I want you to understand this, that God Himself has called me for this. I'm going to share my heart. He's called me to win this city to the Lord. And I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how God's going to do it. I don't know when God's going to do it. I just simply know that God has called me to do that, and I can't get away from it. And if I could get away from it, I would have gotten away from it. And I'd be at another church helping somebody else, not because I don't love you, not because I don't want to pastor. It's not that it had anything to do with that. It's because the calling is hard. It's hard. And if you don't think it's hard, you ought to pastor your family for a little while. Preacher, I am. Because my family is just as crazy as yours. Preacher, I am. I grew up in crazy. I know what crazy is about. I didn't grow up in it. I grew up around it. I know what it is to be around crazy. Well, and how crazy can it be, Brother Dan? You have no idea. You have no idea. You have no idea the gun shooting, fighting, beer drinking, bottle throwing that I've been around in my family. Not my mom and my dad, but my aunts and my uncles and my grandpa and my grandma. And I know crazy. My grandpa, and I think it was one of the hardest guys I've ever met in my life, but he loved us. But he didn't like a whole lot of other people. My grandpa, this is no lie, I watched him do this. Take a slingshot and bust the windows out of this man's house. Bam, 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 bam. He busted every south window out of his house because he turned on the CB and messed up his television. True. I know crazy. My first memory of my grandpa and I sat on his lap as he gave me drinks of Coors beer with salt. I was probably 3. My first memory of my grandpa. And I love my grandpa. Don't you talk about my grandpa. I can talk about it, don't you talk about my grandpa. My grandpa loved me. My grandpa loved me, and I loved him. And I cried and cried and cried. He died when he was 95 years old. And I cried and cried and cried. He was an old man when he died. And I pray he got right with God, but I never saw him darken a church door in my entire life. Never. I'm telling you right now, I know what it's like. It's a hard calling, and I know what God has called me to do. But nevertheless, the gospel has to be preached. I was studying out. I'm going to do a series. It's 2 series from this one. But I was studying that out this week in my time that I had with the Lord. And I was talking with Brother Dean before service, and it sounds pretty similar to me. He gets up early and does Bible study, because if you don't, you won't. Amen? It's like exercise. If you don't set a time to do it, you're not going to do it. Is there ever a great time to exercise? No, because I hate it. Amen? I can always find time to eat. Amen? There's always a right time for that. But exercise, that's like tiresome. So, I just don't want to do that. But God's called me to this place. And I want you to look at me. I want you to look at my notes. I would never do anything to jeopardize your soul. Ever. Ever. I would never do anything to jeopardize your place with God and your calling for God, calling with God, the place that God's called you. I would never do anything to jeopardize you ever getting advanced in that. I want you to advance in that. The first opportunity we had for people to go to Rose Hill, man, I'm calling Tommy, I'm calling Dean, I'm calling David and Lisa. Y'all go. Y'all need to go do it. Not that they don't have experience, but they need to stretch their wings, and they need to go, and they need to go. And so, man, my pastor taught me, when you get an opportunity, you send some of your people and you let them go. Let them strengthen their wings and let them fly and let them go be what God's called them to be. Because I don't want to sit here and say, oh no, I don't want you to go do anything. I want you to sit here because I need the church full. And those 3 people I sent are tithers. Oh, we got to keep you here. Jesus, we got to keep you here because I don't want you to not be here, because you might God might call you to that place, and all of a sudden now you'll be gone. Man, I hope so. Not that I'm trying to get rid of you, but I want God to strengthen you. I want God to take you to a place. How are you ever going to know that God's calling you to a place you never go anywhere? Right. I want God to bless you. I want Tommy and Janet. I want God's best for you. I want what's best for Dean and David and Lisa, and for all of you guys. I want the blessing of God to sit on your life, and then I want God to pour His blessings out on you, because I love you and I want you to be blessed of God. Somebody let me come preach, and I didn't know which way to hold the Bible. I think it's like this. I didn't know. But Sandy Sands, she's not here tonight, but she let me preach anytime I wanted to at the nursing home. Anytime she begged me to come preach at the nursing home. That's below us now, right? No. Still do. Still do. Man, it's exciting to me that David will preach at the nursing home and Dean will preach I told him to recruit you, they better. I said, he needs to be preaching at the nursing home. He does. I told David, I said, you get Rick and you get him, lock him in there, man. He needs a little taste of that. While he's trying to preach. He needs a little taste of that. Stephanie, can you come to drawing 416? Stephanie? Well, you're trying to get a thought across. Amen? If you've never been there, you know what I'm talking about. But if you've never been there, you know what I'm talking about. Amen? When sometimes you walk in and go, Stephanie, I love you, but I don't know how you do it. Yeah. And you walk in and you know you got to smell that for the next 30 minutes. And you're just, man, you're trying to put Vicks in, whatever. Man, you're trying to do whatever you can do, man. Come on, help me. But man, we got to get locked in. We got to lock our focus in. It's not about us. I need to bring that series back. It's not about us and them. It's about them. Now, I know sometimes it is about us, because we have issues too. Okay? I get that. Don't misquote me. But sometimes it is about what our heart's desire is. I get it. But man, Jesus called us to win the lost. Jesus called us to win this world. Jesus called us to go tell somebody about Jesus. Jesus called us to lay hands on the sick and watch them recover. Cast out devil. Speak with new tongues. Hold up a serpent, it won't hurt you. Drink anything, it won't kill you. That's what he called us to do. Show his power outwardly and show his power inwardly. Come on, somebody. That's what he called us to do. Not simply go to church, but I'm glad you're here. And you weren't here when everybody tells us to. I have to tell Naomi, she gets gripey. And so, I'm just kidding. And so, but she gets some of this. I'll tell her enough stuff probably. But nevertheless, the gospel's preached. God has called us to reach this world. If you've noticed, I've kind of been easing you into this, changing our method, changing our mindset. I talked to Tommy a little bit about that today, this morning, standing by the sound booth, and we had a board meeting at the sound booth, and we were just talking about stuff. And we need to change our method. Nina, how long have you been teaching? How many? 17 years. Do you teach the same way? You still have the flashcards? What do you teach? I know what you teach. Smartboard. Wow, you don't have a chalkboard anymore? Wow, impressive. Huh. Think of that. They don't use a chalkboard in school anymore. Wow. It's a smart board where you can write notes on it and you can print the notes out. In case somebody's not at school that day, you can print the notes out and you can give them the notes from the class. Isn't that amazing? Well, I wonder why we don't have a blackboard that, it went from a blackboard to a green board and to a dry erase board, right? In my algebra class, Mrs. Cushman had an overhead projector where she would use a dry pencil and show it on and she was progressive. That's how old I am. She was progressive because it would show on the wall. She didn't use the chalkboard, she used the overhead projector. Because she was cool. She was passed away this year too, by the way. But Mrs. Cushman would do that, and she'd write and it was really cool. And do you remember how teachers got really cool, and they got these chalk holders? And so you'd get your hand all dirty with the chalk, and you'd stick it in there. Remember? Yeah. Okay. And it had those big erasers that could swipe the whole thing right, nice and clean. Remember those? And you don't do that anymore? Oh, I go back to the old way. Wow. Isn't that amazing? I think you ought to throw that out. Just go back to the chalkboard. Are you sure? And so I'm trying to get something across to you. The world is progressing. They're doing things differently now. I went to I said, where did I go? So I went somewhere, and nobody had pencil and paper anymore. They had that, what Dean's doing right there. And man, they could type on those things, man. I would look like Chinese if I tried to type. But it would just be awful. I know, because they had the little keyboards that they'd flip and have a little keyboard. I'm like, and I'm trying to write stuff down, and they're just like, I'm like, dude, that's impressive. I don't remember where I was at. I went to something. They were busting out notes like crazy on their tablets. I think we ought to go back to. Oh, you don't think so? Then why is it at church we want to stay like we were? and we want to do the exact same thing we've always done. I'll tell you why. Because we're safe and it's comfortable. And we're afraid we're going to offend the Holy Ghost by doing something different. And that's not the case. Listen, He's a God God is the changer. God changes the seasons. God changes the leaves. God changes the clouds. God changes the jet stream. So we get rain in the spring and we get hot in the summer. Come on, somebody help me. God is the changer. He changes my life. Everything that God ever does, He changes me. Yes. He changes me. Now, I know you're thinking of the scripture, I'm the Lord, I changeth not. That doesn't mean He doesn't change things in your life or you'd never get saved. It means that He is always who He is. Listen, He's a deliverer because you need to be delivered. He's the Savior because you need to be saved. He's the Redeemer because I needed to be redeemed. He doesn't change that aspect, but He changes how He does stuff. Oh, I don't believe that, Brother Jeff. How do you not believe that God changes things? Listen, we have TVs in here, man, we would have gone straight to hell as I was growing up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 televisions in this church. We're going to go to hell. The devil's box is in here. Amen? When I grew up, I mean, I'm telling you, Brother Ford did not know, but his kids had it. He didn't know. But he would not, he preached against having televisions in the house. Can you imagine had we grabbed hold of that television media and done something with it? Woo! Paul and Jane Crouch said, I'm going to take hold of this thing. And look what they did. Look what they did. They touched the world through television. I'm just trying to share it with you. I'm trying to share my heart with you. You remember what he used to say behind the one that still sat behind that wooden wall? Temple of praise, one God, one church, one family. That's going to be a church. There's only one church. His church. There's a lot of members, but there's only one church. And I'm sorry to break it to the Church of Christ, but it ain't them. It's not them alone. They're part of our body. They're part of the body of Christ. And I know that they think they're the only ones just because they're an eye and they can't see anything else. I don't know. But I don't know what it is, but why I know their doctrine. I don't know. I don't have a clue. But I have to break it to them gently. I'm part of the body of Christ too. I'm just as much part of the body of Christ as anybody else is. And listen, but we're one church with many members. One Spirit. Come on now. We are one. One. And if we don't get that back to that one, I don't want to say oneness because everybody think I'm speaking about Jesus only stuff. But if we don't get back to that one church, many members. Many members. We got to get back to it. So we're not just the only person in this thing. We're not the only church in this thing. We're not the only ones that get people saved. We're not the only ones. That's why I do my annual report every year. I have to send in the Pentecostal Church of God. I wrote down, we had 10 people saved. We had nobody filled with the baptism of the Holy Ghost last year, and I was embarrassed to send it. Truth. 10 people saved, nobody filled with the Holy Ghost, and I was embarrassed, but I sent it in anyway. I do keep record of that stuff. Because I want to know. That's got to change. We're not like everybody else. I'm sorry, we're not. But nobody else is going to change their doctrine, so why do we think we have to change ours? Do you think I'm going to convince the Church of Christ to change their doctrine? Am I going to convince the Baptist Church to change their doctrine? Am I going to convince the Methodists, the Presbyterians? No. The Nazarenes? I'm not going to convince them. I'm not even going to try. It's not my job to try to do that. So why do we want to be a chameleon and fit in with everybody else? And this just not be, why don't we just be who we are? And let God send to us who He wants to send to us? who we minister to, and let God just send to us those people that are hurting and that we can deal with. And I'm not saying anything about my other brothers and sisters. I love them all. There's some good pastors in this town. You guys really don't know that, but there's some really good pastors in this town that really love their people, and they really love God, and they care about this city. And there's some really good guys that are pastoring churches in this city. And they love God as much as you do and as much as I do, I promise you. But understand what I'm telling you. We've got to come together and be a church. I was proud of you yesterday. I was proud to be the pastor of this church yesterday. I really was. And my wife can tell you, I was freaking out about the ham situation. And I was freaking out. I was like, oh, I can't, and she gets on to me because I freak out about stuff and that I shouldn't freak out about. But I want everything to be perfect. I'm sorry, that's who I am. I want it to be perfect. It's got to be perfect for me to be happy. And then I'm still going to find something wrong with it. That's the truth. That's just the way I'm wired. It's got to be right. It's got to be right. I think that comes from working for people so long that I just want to please them. I want it to be perfect. I'm that guy. If it's not perfect, it's not right. That's who I am. And don't get mad at me when I say, yeah, that's great, we can do that. Don't get mad at me. Okay? Because I will never stand up here and say, boy, Joseph did a horrible job. I will never do that. I promise you I'll never do that. I will say, Joseph did a great job. But I'll never say, Joseph, man, that was horrible. I can't believe he did that. I'll never do that to you, I promise you. But what I will do is say, man, Joseph, thank you for your help. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for getting those chairs. Thank you for getting that ice. I know you had to borrow $2 from your dad, but still, thank you for getting that ice. Okay, I appreciate you doing. And I'm going to do that. But I may go to him later and say, hey, Joseph, that was great. But hey, can we do it this way? Because this is not a place for correction as far as that is concerned. It's not my job to be a bully pulpit and tell everybody how bad I thought it was. It's my job to compliment him. Okay, I got off track. My heart. I'm ready. Yesterday showed me that we're getting close. We're getting ready to absolutely just move into another level. Because yesterday showed me the stuff I've been preaching for 6 years is starting to sink in. What do you mean by that, Brother Jeff? Everybody just worked together and did such a fantastic job and ministered to Sister Kim. How many of her family were there? Do you have any idea? Did she ever say how many were there? 60, 70, 60? 60? Huh? Yeah. There's a bunch. Because there's a bunch at her house. And just ballpark 60, 70. Our fellowship hall was full. Ballpark 70 people, okay? And you ministered. I didn't minister. You did. You, ladies, you did. Guys who went and got stuff, you did. How did I minister? Because you served. You made sure there was plenty. You made sure that they were taken care of. You made sure there was no issues. You made sure that there was an issue. You just took care of it, handled it. Nobody knew there was an issue. There was nothing that was going on. You didn't have two people in the kitchen screaming at each other about who was going to cut the ham up. You didn't have somebody saying, well, I'm taking the trash out. No, I'm taking the trash out. You just worked together. And then I came out here, and Ethan had everything ready to go. And Kevin had 2 computers because he's trying to make everything work. And man, I was proud of you. Because it made me feel like, I'm getting it. Servanthood. Servanthood. That's who we are. That's who we are. Servants. We're serving God's people. And you have no idea who you talked to yesterday. I had a guy come up to me yesterday after the funeral. I have no idea who this guy is. Rough guy. He wouldn't have come up to me except for at that funeral probably. And he walked up to me and said, I want to tell you how much I appreciate what you guys did for us today. said, that's what we're for. He said, no, I really appreciate everything you guys did for us today. Wow. You know what? I left. I had a rough day yesterday. That funeral really struck me hard because I love Thomas Sumner. And I've done my dad's funeral. I spoke at my father-in-law's funeral. I spoke at my brother's funeral. And that one was right up there with it as far as hard. And I left feeling, thank you, God, I needed that. Thank you, God, I needed that. Why? Because of you guys. You and your servanthood and your willingness to serve. Because nevertheless, the gospel's preached. Whether you were serving food, doing a slideshow, running songs, carrying flowers and plants, taking chairs, taking food, whatever it was that you did, that was serving that family. That's what I've been trying to tell you for 6 years. It's not all about being on the stage. Sometimes I wish we didn't have a stage or instruments. Because it's not about that. It's not. That is hair on the body of Christ. That's how I look at it. I know listen, don't get all mad at me. I know we need worship, and I know we need to, and God has given us abilities, and I thank God for that. I thank God for the people that God has given us and the abilities that you have. And I know that God has anointed us to help lead us into worship. I get it. But sometimes I wish we would just understand. It's not all about up here. It's about servanthood. Servanthood. Going back to my vans. Are you ready? I'm going to change the channel. Ready? Lost 2 windows in about a month. Has it been a month, Kevin? Yeah. About 3 weeks. Need to build a bus barn. I'm just tired of paying for windows. I'm going to build it on the property. We need to start getting over there. We need to start moving our vision over there. I don't know where we're going to build it over there, but I was talking to the board today, and I think it's a great idea if we move it over there. You already gone to Sunday school. Then ring the bell. That's another thing. We have a board member still doing Sunday school superintendent. Man, that bugs me, Brother Jim, because I know you do a great job at it, but you've been doing that for 1,714 years. I don't know how long you've been doing that, but you've been doing that in 99 when I left and came back. And so, I don't know, anyway, that's a whole other story. All right, get back. Focus. Okay, so listen, squirrel. And so, I want to talk to you guys as to why I want to build it over there. Because I want us to start getting our focus on the vision that God has given us. My wife has yelled at me and griped at me and argued with me and said, just go build it. Amen. Can I get a witness, honey? Are you okay? Just go build it. That's great. That's how she looks. That's how she sounds. And so, but her vision, she catches it. She understands what the vision God's given me. But let's start. I was going to build it across the street, and Donald, there was Donald. Do you believe Donald had a great idea? But Donald said, Pastor Jeff, he said, listen, let's not build it here, let's build it over there. He said, this is why. If we continue to stay here, we're going to always be here. That's right. He says, let's start. And I said, you know what? For a guy with a slow weekend, he said, Donald, he thinks pretty good, you know? I love that guy, man. Hey, he's one of our board members. Did you know that? Did you know he had a grandbaby? Well, I know he's got 2. You said 1, right? They just had 1. Okay, I didn't think they had two. Like, Lord have mercy, that's quick. And so we just had another grandbaby. Is that better if I said it that way? Okay? We had to call it, hey, congratulations. I know you guys put it on Facebook and stuff, but he's one of our board members. I love on him a little bit. Hey, man, congratulations. Because he's excited. He's a grandpa. He's got two babies, two grandbabies, two baby girls. They never had any girls the whole time. And now they got two granddaughters. He didn't even know what to do with them. He didn't know what to do with them. He's like, well, all he knows is, Tater and Dusty just knock down the floor and stuff like that. But he doesn't know what to do with girls. But he's one of our board members, and he needs to be, hey, we love you. Does everybody know who our board members are? Jim, stand up, Jim. Hey, there he comes to save the day. It's Jim. Buster. James. And Don. That's your board members. I know I inherited them. I know. So listen. Just kidding. All right, listen. That's our board. Those guys love you. Honor them. Honor them. Listen, we got a building. We need 4 bay ones. We've got 4 bays. It's going to cost us some money. And if it's cool with y'all, whether it's cool with y'all or not, I'm good. But I'm just letting you know. So we need to spend a little bit of money. And we need to get it done. And we need to make it look like we're doing something. And Dean's tired of mowing that section of grass anyway. And so we're going to, I don't know where we're going to put it, but we're going to put it somewhere over there. So maybe we can access the city's cement. I don't know. But we put it somewhere over there. And I just want to share that with you to start getting the vision of what God's doing in here. I think we're getting a little stagnant, a little stale. And I think people are losing interest because they're saying, well, I don't think we're ever going to do that. Yes, we are. And I want to start moving that way. I just want to share my heart with you today. But we've got a calling. I couldn't share all of it with them, share it with the leadership yet. But I'll share some more of it with you later. We got a calling. And God's called us to do great, mighty things. Are you up for it? Come on, really? Are you ready? Are you flexible? Because those who are flexible should be what? Flexed. And those who are breakable will get what? Broken. But if you're flexible and be able to move and I don't care if it's not, well, it's not my calling. You know how many things I did that wasn't my calling? My calling is to take care of the house of the Lord and take care of God's people. That's my calling. How many things I had to do that weren't my calling and I'm not going to do it? I never said that to Brother Turner. I never one time told Brother Turner I won't do something. Never. No matter what it was. Yes, sir. I'll do it to the best of my ability. Got $2, like it's mine. I got it's mine. I don't have $2. And so I had to do what he said. So my heart is this, is that you guys be flexible. Are you ready? Can we change the world? Can we change the world? Come on, can we change the world? Let's just do this. Let's do this. Nevertheless, the gospel is preached. No matter how we preach it, it's preached. Stand to your feet with me, please.